If you've recently started going to the gym, you've probably had this thought: why am I not seeing results yet? Because at first, everything feels right. You're showing up, you're sweating, you're sore, you're putting in the effort. But after a few weeks, the mirror barely changes. The scale barely moves, and that's where frustration starts. A lot of people assume they need a better workout, a better supplement, more motivation. But sometimes, the real problem is much simpler. They're making beginner mistakes that quietly slow down their progress. Mistakes that feel harmless but can cost you months of results. So in this video, let's go through 5 common gym mistakes beginners make, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Let's start with one of the most common mistakes: only using machines. Now don't get me wrong, machines are not bad. In fact, they can be very useful, especially if you're new and still learning movement patterns. The problem starts when machines become your entire workout. Because machines guide the movement for you, they help stabilize the weight, which means many supporting muscles don't have to work as hard. Think about it this way. If you're sitting in a machine chest press, the machine controls the path. But when you use dumbbells, your body has to stabilize the weight. Your shoulders, arms, and core all become involved, and over time, that usually leads to better overall strength and muscle development. So if you're only using machines, start introducing some free weight exercises as your confidence grows. Not because machines are bad, but because your body benefits from learning how to move naturally. Now, let's talk about a mistake almost every beginner makes. They focus too much on the muscles they can see. Biceps, chest, abs, arm day, another arm day, then maybe some more arm day. Because let's be honest, those are the muscles most people want to improve first. But here's the problem. Your body grows best when you train the biggest muscles too. Exercises like squats, rows, deadlifts, bench press, overhead press. These are called compound movements because they train multiple muscle groups at the same time. And that's important because they allow you to lift more weight, train more muscle, and create a bigger overall training stimulus. In simple terms, they give you more return for the effort you're putting in. So instead of spending most of your workout doing curls, build your routine around compound movements first. Then use isolation exercises as support, not the other way around. This next mistake is one of the biggest reasons people get stuck. They lift the same weight for the same reps for months and then wonder why nothing changes. Your body is incredibly smart. If a challenge stays the same, your body has no reason to adapt, no reason to build more muscle, no reason to become stronger. This is why progressive overload matters. Let's say you start with a weight where you can do 10 to 12 reps for 3 sets while getting close to failure. After a few weeks, that weight starts feeling easier. That's your signal. Now you can increase the weight slightly. Maybe now you only manage 8 or 9 reps. That's completely normal. Over time, you work your way back up again, then repeat the process. That gradual increase in challenge is one of the biggest drivers of muscle growth. Not random workouts, not fancy exercises, just consistently asking your body to do slightly more than before. Next one surprises a lot of people. Because most beginners think muscle is built in the gym. It isn't. The gym only starts the process. The actual rebuilding happens afterward. When you train, you're creating stress in the muscle, tiny amounts of damage. Your body then repairs those muscle fibers and rebuilds them stronger than before. But that process requires recovery, especially sleep. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone. Protein synthesis increases. Recovery processes become more active. This is when your body does a large part of the work you're expecting from training. So if you're training hard, but sleeping 5 or 6 hours every night, you're making progress harder than it needs to be. Aim for around 7 to 9 hours whenever possible. Because recovery isn't optional, it's part of the muscle building process. Now, here's another mistake that doesn't get talked about enough: trying to learn everything by yourself. Many beginners are afraid to ask questions. They're worried about looking inexperienced, so instead, they guess. They copy random workouts online. They use poor form. And sometimes they spend months doing something incorrectly. The truth is, almost everyone in the gym was a beginner once. Most experienced lifters made mistakes too. That's how they learned. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Ask a trainer. Ask a knowledgeable friend. Ask someone who clearly knows what they're doing. A simple correction today could save you months of frustration later. The good news is this: most beginners are not failing because they're lazy. They're failing because nobody taught them these things. And once you avoid these common mistakes, progress becomes much easier. You don't need the perfect workout. You don't need expensive supplements. You don't need some secret training method. You just need to consistently do the basics well. Train with purpose. Challenge yourself gradually. Eat enough protein. Recover properly, and give the process time. Because muscle growth isn't something that happens in a few weeks, but if you stay consistent, the results will come. If this video helped you understand things a bit clearer, I appreciate you taking the time to watch it. What I focus on here is simple, realistic approaches that middle-aged men can actually stick to, because that's what gets real results. If that's something you're working on, you can stick around for more.